Good morning.
Bridget
Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Schlicht, Bridget Schlicht.
I'm going to ask you to move the microphone, if you can, a little bit closer to you. You have a nice, soft voice, and I want to make sure everybody can hear you. Ms. Schlicht, how old are you?
36.
What city or town do you live in?
Vernon County.
Did you grow up there?
Yes.
Have you lived anywhere else?
A short time in Sparta and a short time in La Crosse.
Who do you live with, or who have you lived with as you grew up in Vernon County?
Both my parents.
Did you have a big or a small family growing up?
I'm medium size, 3 children, 2 adults.
Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I do.
Do you share custody with anyone?
Yes, her dad.
How long have you shared custody?
Probably for like 5 years now.
How old is she?
She just turned 11.
Ms. Schlicht, what do you do for a living?
As of right now, I'm a personal shopper at Walmart.
Is that well, how long have you been working at Walmart?
A year and a half,
Is that full-time or part-time?
full time.
And Ms. Schlicht, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I'm going to ask you, in your life, have you ever had a drug problem?
Yes,
What drug would that be?
methamphetamine.
How long did you have that problem?
Like 4.5 years, 5 years maybe.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes,
How many times?
2 times.
And are you clean now?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been clean?
Almost 2 years.
Ms. Schlicht, did anything happen that made you want to get clean?
This and just possibly the fact that I could have lost my life.
When you say this, are you talking about the deaths of Nemo, Peng, and Trevor Maloney?
Yes,
Is it fair to say, or correct me if I'm wrong, was the summer of 2021 sort of the thick of your meth problem?
yes,
How often were you using at that time?
every day,
Every day, once a day, every day, multiple times a day?
multiple times a day. Sorry.
And during that time, where were you living?
I was living with my parents when I had my daughter, and then when I didn't have my daughter, I was staying in La Crosse.
Were you staying with a friend? Did you have an apartment or something else?
Friends or hotels.
Were you working that summer?
I had just started working at the Holiday Inn.
When you say I had just started working at the Holiday Inn, was that a few days before this?
Yes.
Okay. So that week, right before this, can you walk me through sort of a typical day that if you would have been working?
If I was working?
Correct.
Well, I worked in the evening, so most of throughout the day, I just hung out with friends.
Hung out with friends. Was one of your friends Trevor Maloney?
Yes.
Is that the name that Mr. Maloney introduced himself to you as, or did he go by another name?
No, that was the name I was introduced to him by.
How did you know him?
Just through the kiosk in Sparta jail.
When you say the kiosk through the Sparta jail, what does that mean?
The computer that when you're visiting with people.
Were you in the Sparta jail?
No.
No. What were you doing at the Sparta jail?
I was visiting a boyfriend at the time.
And how was Trevor Maloney connected to the Sparta jail?
He was in it.
Okay. So how did you meet him involving this kiosk?
I was visiting with my boyfriend and he was in the background.
Okay. If you can, when abouts was it that you met him?
Like face to face?
No, the
Or
first
in the
time.
jail? It would probably been like a handful of months before the summer.
Okay,
I don't know
When-
specific dates.
That's fine. Do you remember if it was autumn or winter or spring?
Winter, I believe.
Okay. Did you exchange numbers with him or anything else?
No.
Would you, well, how would you describe your relationship with him?
Just minimal. He'd just text me here.
Not to sound too high school, but would you consider yourself boyfriend, girlfriend?
No.
Okay. Were you friends?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware if he had a girlfriend?
Yes.
Were you aware if he had any children?
Yes.
What children did he have?
2 daughters.
Do you remember how old they were in 2021?
No, I don't. I know they're under 10.
Were they little kids?
Yeah.
So you exchanged numbers. How would you two communicate?
Just text messaging.
Did you ever meet up?
Just the week of everything that happened.
Okay. And when you met up, was meth use involved?
Yes.
Just you, just Mr. Maloney, or both?
Both.
Did you also, in the summer of 2021, know an individual named Peng?
Yes.
Is that the name? Well, let me ask you this first. Is Peng a male or a female?
Male.
Is that the name that he introduced himself to you as, or did he go by another name?
No, Peng was the name he would introduce me as.
How did you know him?
We had met at a bar that I worked at.
Did you know him very well?
No.
Acquaintance? Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall about how long you had known him by July of 2021?
Probably just a year.
Would you communicate with him?
No.
Just meet up?
It would be more like I ran into him.
Okay. When you ran into him, would the two of you use meth together?
Possibly, yes, probably.
And that summer 2021, did you know somebody by the name of Nemo Yang?
I had just met him that day.
When you say that day, what day are you talking about?
July 23rd.
July, okay. You knew him when he was alive, though?
Yes.
Okay. Is Nemo Yang or Nemo the name that he introduced himself to you as, or did he go by another name?
No, his name, Nemo.
Was he introduced to you by someone else?
Peng and Trevor.
He was hanging out with Peng and Trevor that day.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Schlick, I've asked you some questions about people and the names that they introduced themselves to you as. In 2021, was it common for people who you might have been using methamphetamine with to introduce themselves to you by their given name or by a nickname?
Nickname?
If someone introduced themselves to you by a nickname, would you ask for their real name?
No.
Why not?
If they wanted me to know their real name, they would have told me.
Ms. Schlick, during the summer of 2021, did you know someone who went by the nickname Kush?
I just met him that summer too.
Was that individual male or female?
Male.
And is Kush the name that he introduced himself to you as?
Yes.
Did you ask him for any further real or given names?
No.
Have you come to now learn his real given name?
Yes.
What's that name?
Nya Thao.
So if you can recall, when did you meet this individual who went by Kush?
Probably about almost 2 months prior to this incident.
If I said early June, does that fit with you saying?
Yes.
Okay.
It was summertime.
How'd you meet him?
At a house on the north side of La Crosse.
At that house on the north side of La Crosse, did you use meth that day?
Yes,
Did Kush?
yes,
Did you end up giving him a ride?
yes,
Did the two of you exchange phone numbers?
probably. I think so.
You say probably you think so. If you did, do you know what you would have put him in your phone as?
Kush.
After you gave him that ride, did the two of you call or text, communicate after that?
Text.
Did you do so regularly or just not that often?
Not that often.
Did the two of you ever meet up after you met him?
Yes,
How often?
it was maybe like once or twice.
If you met up and saw him, what would you do?
Just hang out and smoke meth.
Would you meet him in La Crosse or somewhere else?
La Crosse.
Did you know him? Well, let me ask it a better way. Where did you think he was from, if he ever told you?
La Crosse.
Now, you testified previously that you were living in Vernon County with your parents.
Yes.
Getting from your parents' place to La Crosse, about how long of a drive is that?
45 minutes or so.
One way?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to La Crosse a lot?
Yeah.
When you would go to La Crosse, how did you get back and forth on this 45-minute drive?
I drove myself.
You drove yourself? What kind of car were you driving?
A 2010 Dodge Charger.
What color was that?
Black.
So you had this car. Did Kush have a car?
No.
Did Trevor have a car?
No.
Did Peng have a car?
No.
Did Nemo have a car?
No.
Did most people have a car?
No.
Did you give people rides a
Yes.
lot?
Yes.
Ms. Schlicht, do you give people rides now?
No.
Why is that?
I stick to myself. I don't really have no reason to give anyone else a ride.
Now, also during the summer of 2021, did you meet someone who went by the name of Black
Yes.
or Blackie?
Black.
Okay. Is that the name that he introduced himself to you as?
Yes.
Did he give you any other nickname?
No.
I've been saying he, and I got ahead of myself a little bit. Is Black a male or female?
Male.
Did you ever follow up and ask him for his real name?
No.
Have you come to learn his real name since then?
Yes.
Is that Campanithrat Tanasak?
Yes.
When did you meet him?
About a week and a half to 2 weeks prior to this.
Were you introduced to him by someone?
Yes.
Who introduced you to Black?
Kush.
Between Kush and Black, and forgive me if this seems like an obvious question, who did you know better?
Kush.
And Kush introduced you to Black. Did you get the impression, did he seem eager to introduce Black to you?
Yes.
Did you end up exchanging phone numbers with Black?
Yes.
Do you know if you received one phone number from him or were there any more phone numbers?
Just one.
Just one. Who entered that phone number in your phone?
I did.
Do you recall what name you put him under in your phone?
London Bridge is falling down.
Okay. That's interesting. Can you tell us why you did that?
It was just something he was saying at the time that I was adding him in my phone.
If I said sort of a catchphrase for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think that was strange?
No,
Were you using meth at that time?
yes.
Do you have any recollection of marking black London Bridge is falling down as an emergency contact in your phone?
No, I don't.
Do you remember ever handing your phone to Black and asking him to enter anything into your phone?
No.
Now, Ms. Schlicht, after Cush introduced you to Black, did you hang out with Black and Cush together,
Yes,
the three of you?
yes,
Now, we're talking about a fairly tight timeline. You've testified that you met Black about a week and a half to 2 weeks before this.
yes.
About how often would the three of you hang out?
Not very often.
Did you ever hang out with Black alone without Cush?
One time.
When the three of you would hang out, what would the three of you do?
I just sit there and smoke meth.
Sit there, would you be at somebody's house, somebody's apartment? Where?
Hotel.
The same hotel always?
No.
Ms. Schlicht, how would you describe your relationship with Black?
I mean, we talked a few times a day during that time.
How did you feel about him?
I kind of liked him, but I didn't know who he was.
From what you could tell, knowing you didn't live inside his mind and didn't know his thoughts, how did you think he felt about you?
I felt like that he liked me.
Did things between you and Black ever become physical?
One time.
When you say one time, is that the one time that you previously referred to as the only time the two of you hung out without Cush there?
Yes.
Was that interaction forced or was it consensual?
Consensual.
Do you know if Cush was in the vicinity when this happened?
Yes, he was.
And I'm saying in the vicinity. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that you and Black were in a hotel room?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where, or can you tell us where Cush was?
He was down by the car.
Okay. Do you recall when this interaction happened?
The night before, the 23rd.
Now, when you're talking about days and times, I'm going to ask you this. You said you were working third shift or overnight shift.
Yes.
Okay. So what time would you start work?
11 p.m.
And then you'd work until the next morning?
Yes, 7 a.m.
Okay. Work about 8 hours. Now, many people who have shift work have to sleep during the day.
Right.
Were you sleeping during the day?
No.
What were you doing during the day?
Hanging out and smoking meth.
I apologize for asking about all of that. So is it sometimes difficult, and correct me if I'm wrong, for you to tease out one day versus another because the date would switch while you were working
Yes.
in the night?
It's confusing.
Okay. And I apologize for this question. Ms. Schlicht, after your physical interaction with Black, did he give you any money or any meth?
No.
Okay. After that, did your relationship, did the tone of it change?
A little bit, yes.
How so?
He didn't talk to me at all the next day.
So fair to say he did not start contacting you more?
Not until the evening.
Did he become abusive after that interaction?
No.
controlling?
No.
Switching a little bit, at this time, how would you describe your relationship with Kush?
Friends,
How did you feel about him?
that he was just a friend.
And knowing that you didn't live inside his mind and don't know his thoughts, from what you could tell, how did you think he felt about you?
Objection, speculation.
Sustain.
When you were with him, did he seem happy to be with you?
Yeah,
Did he seem to like you?
yes,
I'll withdraw, sorry.
During your time hanging out with Kush, did things ever become physical?
one time,
Was that interaction forced or consensual?
consensual.
And was that before or after you met Black?
After,
Was that before or after your interaction with Black?
before,
Did Kush give you any money or meth in exchange for that?
no,
After that happened, did the tone of your relationship change with Kush?
no,
Did he act differently towards you?
no,
Did you act differently towards him?
no.
Ms. Schlicht, how do you feel right now having to answer these questions in court?
Embarrassed,
Why is that?
because it's a time that I'm not proud of myself.
Did you consider yourself boyfriend, girlfriend with either Black or Kush?
No,
Now, from the time that you spent with the two of them together, Black and Kush, how would you describe what you could see of their relationship?
really not much. They really didn't interact a lot with each other.
Did
You
they,
could tell that Black was more in control.
okay. Did they refer to themselves as friends? Did they refer to themselves as something else, or did they not refer to their relationship at all?
Brothers,
Did you believe that they were blood brothers?
yes,
Did you have any knowledge of whether they were in fact related to each other other than them just calling themselves brothers?
no,
Were either of them ever violent towards you before this?
no,
Did either of them ever hit you?
no,
Did either of them put a gun to your head?
yes.
When was that?
The night this all happened.
Okay, before the night this all happened.
Then no, sorry.
You don't need to apologize for anything, ma'am. The night before the night that this all happened, did you ever see a gun?
Yes,
Who had the gun?
Black,
Was Kush present when
Yes.
you saw that?
yes,
Did Kush seem at all surprised to see that?
no,
When the three of you would use meth, how would you use it?
I smoked it,
What did Kush do?
smoke it,
What did Black do?
snort it,
From observing Black when he would snort meth, how would it make him act?
hyper,
Angry?
I don't really think so. He was more anxious.
Okay. From when you saw Kush use meth, how did it make him act?
The same, just chill.
When you say the same, what do you mean?
It didn't really make his mood change or anything. He just acted the same.
Ah, the same as when he would not be using meth. Thank you. How would meth make Trevor act?
He was hyper as well.
What about Peng?
Calm,
And what about Nemo?
calm.
Okay, now directing your attention to the day or two immediately before everything happened. You had a new job that you've told us a little bit about, I think.
Yes.
Okay, and let's remind ourselves, where was that at?
The Holiday Inn and Suites in Alaska.
When did you start that job?
It was like 4 days before everything happened.
Okay. And you were working the night shift.
Yes.
What were you doing at the Holiday Inn and Suites? What was the job title?
Night auditor.
What does a night auditor do?
I just check people in that come in through the night, fold towels, watch the cameras.
Watching cameras, you were aware of where the cameras were?
Yes.
And were those internal or external cameras?
External cameras.
Had you done third shift work before?
No. Well, if you consider bartending third shift, I guess.
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Okay, so let's start about two or so days before everything happened. You went to work at the Holiday Inn in Alaska,
Yes.
okay? And you testified previously you had your black Dodge Charger.
Yes.
Now that week, were you driving that Charger from Vernon County to work?
No.
Why not?
It was in the shop getting fixed.
Was that a shop in La Crosse or somewhere else?
Viroqua.
How were you getting around?
I had a friend give me a ride from Viroqua to La Crosse.
At that time when you were working at the Holiday Inn, were you sleeping at home in Vernon County, or were you, yes? Okay. Were you also staying at hotels?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to specifically start talking about Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. Had you worked the night before?
Like Wednesday night then before Thursday or Thursday night?
Wednesday night going into Thursday?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's set a nice guidepost. So you went to work Wednesday night. Would have been the 21st, does that sound right? Started work at 11.
Yes.
You worked, and then you got off of your job at 7 a.m. on Thursday, the 22nd.
Yes.
Okay, and you didn't have your Dodge Charger.
No.
So how did you leave work that day?
Peng and Trevor and Uncle came and got me.
Peng, Trevor, Uncle, and Bam?
Bam was still at the hotel. I don't think he was in the car at the time.
Ah, so Peng, Trevor, and Uncle?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at that time, you'd already met Peng,
Yes.
and you'd already met Trevor.
Yes.
Is that when you met Nemo?
Yes. Yes.
Is that when, well, let me ask you this. Uncle, had you met Uncle before?
No.
Did Uncle go by any other name that you heard?
No.
Did he seem to be related to the others?
To one of them.
Who would that be?
I think it was Nemo.
Did you ask him what his real name was?
No.
And then you just mentioned Bam and said something about Bam was at the hotel, not necessarily picking you up.
Yes.
Had you met Bam before?
No.
Is Bam the name that he introduced himself to you as?
Yes.
Did you ask him about his real name?
No.
Why not?
Just didn't see the need to.
This group of men or males, did this appear to be a group of equals or was someone in charge?
Everyone kind of looked up to Bam.
Did everyone seem to be getting along?
Yes.
Anything off about sort of the, I would say, vibe of the group?
Not yet. No, not at that time.
Did that end up changing?
Yes.
Okay. So after you were picked up and left work, where did you go?
To the Baymont,
What's the Baymont?
a hotel.
Whereabouts is it?
Alaska, a little ways down from the Holiday Inn.
Is there a highway or road near the Baymont that you can kind of set for us a little bit? I know where on Alaska is, but I just want to be
It's the
clear.
main highway right there. You got Walmart and everything, and then the Baymont's on the opposite side of the road.
Okay, not too far off of Highway 90.
I think so.
Now, by the time, oh, let me back up a little bit. We're at the Baymont. When you went there, did everybody go into the Baymont?
Yes.
Did somebody had gotten a room there?
Yes.
Do you know who got the room?
Trevor did.
When you got to the room, what did everybody do?
Just sat around and hung out and smoked.
You'd been up for, how many days at that point?
Just one. Tuesday, Wednesday, so it'd be going into 2 days probably.
Okay. So then at some point, after you all had been at the Baymont for a while, did you end up leaving and going somewhere?
Yes.
Where did you go?
Do you want to know about the Walmart stop or just right to when we left to go to Broqua?
I'm interested in asking you, directing your attention to maybe around 2:30 in the afternoon, if at some point you went
Okay.
to the shop to get your car.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we went to Broqua then.
Who drove?
Uncle did.
And who all went on that trip?
Nemo, Peng, and Bam Bam, and me and Uncle.
Okay. Bam Bam is the same as Bam?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes Bam, sometimes Bam Bam?
Yes.
Okay. Did you end up learning Bam Bam's real name?
Yes, I did.
What's that?
Michael Vang.
Michael Vang, okay. So they took you to get your car,
Yes.
you got your car, and then where'd you go?
Back to La Crosse.
Did you make any stops along the way?
At Quick Trip.
Okay. Was the car registration payment for that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you end up going to Appleton?
No,
You know why?
I don't really know why we had never went.
Okay. Do you know how BAM paid for that car registration?
A debit card or credit card?
Did he fill out a piece of paper in front of you or do something else?
No, just made a payment.
Made a payment online?
Yep.
You got back to the Baymont. Same old at the Baymont at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And then at some point later that evening, did some of you or did some persons leave again to go somewhere?
Yes.
Who left?
Are we talking about the Walmart trip or the trip to Viroqua? I just don't want to be confusing.
I understand there's a lot of trips going back and forth, weren't there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to direct you to kind of the early evening and ask, because you brought it up a couple times, did you go to Walmart?
Yes.
What'd you get at Walmart?
Clothes and food.
Why'd you need clothes?
Just a pair of clothes.
Okay. Did anybody go with you?
Bam Bam, Uncle, and Trevor, and I think it was just us four. I can't remember if Peng or Nemo went.
Okay. After Walmart, back to the Baymont.
Yes.
Baymont things happen at Baymont.
Yes.
Okay. And then now you've brought up other trips. Did you later in the evening go to Vernon County?
Yes.
Where'd you go in Vernon County?
To my house.
Before you went to your house, did you go to Westby at one point?
Westby was after my house.
Ah, thank you. So you went to your house. Who was with you when you went to your house?
Peng and Nemo.
Why did you go to your house in Vernon County?
To get my birth certificate.
Why did you need your birth certificate?
For my job at the Holiday Inn.
Okay. So then after getting your birth certificate, did you go to Westby?
Yes.
Why'd you go to Westby?
To pick up Trevor.
Okay, now I'm a little confused because earlier we were with Trevor, but now we're picking Trevor up.
Yes.
What's that about?
Trevor had to take his girlfriend and children back to Westby, and he had asked me to pick him up from Westby.
Okay, so now at this point, Peng, Nemo, and Trevor are in the Charger with you.
Yes.
Do you at that time have any idea where Bam and Uncle are?
I'm assuming they were at the hotel.
You're assuming, but you don't actually
I
know.
don't really know.
Okay. Okay, so we have our birth certificate, we've picked up Trevor, and now where are all of you going in the Charger?
To lacrosse. Well, back to the Baymont is where we were at.
Okay. Now, as you were going back to the Baymont at this time, do you remember receiving a phone call from Bam?
Yes.
Do you remember what that was about?
Yeah, he wanted me to get 2 balls of meth from Nemo.
How much is a ball?
3.5 grams.
Is that a list of phone calls that you received and placed to various individuals for the next couple of hours?
Yes.
Okay. I'd move exhibit 22.
Objection.
Be received.
Okay, so we have a phone call as you're going back towards the Baymont, you think 12:31 in the morning.
I thought so.
Now, before you got to the Baymont, did you end up stopping at a Walgreens?
Yes.
Do you remember what was purchased at the Walgreens?
Donuts and wraps, blunt wraps, we call them.
Did you say blunt wraps?
Yes.
What's a blunt wrap?
This scissor sweet wrap that has tobacco in it.
Something you smoke?
Yes.
Okay. Before going to the Baymont, did you go to the Holiday Inn?
Yes.
What was the purpose of going to the Holiday Inn?
To drop my birth certificate off.
Okay, now, did you, before getting to the Holiday Inn, start getting any phone calls from Black?
Yes.
And if you want to use Exhibit 22 to help you with this, would the first one of those calls have been at 1:44 in the morning?
Yes.
That phone call was roughly 6 minutes in duration. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Do you remember what that phone call was about?
He was looking for Nemo and Peng.
He was looking for Nemo and Peng. Did he tell you why?
No.
Did you tell him, did he ask you if you knew where they were?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
No.
Was that true?
No.
Why did you tell him something that was not true at that time?
Because I didn't feel like that he was looking for them for a good reason. And they didn't want him to know where they were.
Why did you have that sort of suspicious feeling? And that's my word, and if you disagree with that, please correct me.
Because of what happened at Walgreens.
Because of what happened at Walgreens? What happened at Walgreens?
I was approached by someone that said, do you know that they're being looked for?
Peng and Nemo?
Yes.
Okay. So you told Black you didn't know where they were. Did he tell you anything about why he was looking for them?
No.
Did you get any information from people in the car about why he was looking for them?
Just that they might have stolen $600.
Who's they?
Nemo and Peng. It's more Nemo being blamed, but Peng was with him.
But Peng was with him?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they say who they might have stolen that money from?
Black.
Did Peng or Nemo seem worried about this?
A little bit.
Did they seem afraid?
A little bit.
What made you think that?
Just because they didn't want me to tell them where they were.
They didn't want you to tell Black where they were?
It's hard to explain the way people feel at that time.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't really know the word to give that, how they felt besides that they felt scared.
That was just an observation you made.
Yes.
Okay. Did Trevor seem afraid at this time?
A little bit, yes.
Do you have any reason, knowing that you don't live inside of his head, did Trevor say anything about why he might have been afraid?
No.
Okay. Now, during this 6-minute phone call, did you ever hand the phone to Trevor?
Yes.
Did you hand the phone to Trevor because Trevor said, hey, give me that phone, I want to talk to Black? How did your phone get in Trevor's hand?
Black wanted to talk to Trevor to see if my story was true of what we
Okay.
were doing.
Okay. Black basically asked you, put Trevor on.
Yes.
You handed your phone to Trevor. What did Trevor say?
Just that I was taking him to the north side.
Taking him, Trevor?
Yes.
Did he mention Peng or Nemo?
No.
And just to be clear, that was not the truth.
Correct.
Did you end up calling BAM after this?
Yes, but I don't remember what was said. I feel like the call made to BAM was after
Was after what?
everything.
Okay. You don't, if your phone said that you called BAM at 1:53 in the morning, do you remember what that was about?
No.
Okay. So then at 1:54, did you receive another phone call from Black?
Yes.
And this was a short phone call, less than a minute, is that right?
Yes.
What was that phone call about?
If my license plate said what it said.
When this phone call came, do you remember where you were in Onalaska?
We were just taking a left turn to go from Highway 90 onto the road to take you to the Holiday Inn.
Okay. And he was asking you about your license plate?
Yes.
How did that make you feel?
Nervous,
How so?
because now they're right behind us.
You knew they were right behind you?
Not until we were turning, when we stopped at the stoplight, they had pulled up next to us.
Was there a lot of other traffic in the area at that time?
No.
And so then, where'd you drive to after that phone call?
The Holiday Inn.
You were driving your black Dodge Charger. What was Black's car?
Mercedes.
What color?
Black.
Okay, so you went to the Holiday Inn. Once you pulled in, where'd you go?
I went into the Holiday Inn.
What'd you do in the Holiday Inn?
I gave the night auditor my birth certificate.
Did you make any small talk or conversation in there?
I think she just asked how I was, and then I walked out.
When she asked how you were, how did you respond?
Fine.
Why did you say you were fine?
Just because I didn't want to draw attention to her, I guess. I don't know, honestly.
By that point, how many days had you been working at that job?
2. It was 2 full days, and then that would have been my 3rd night. But since I didn't have my birth certificate or social security card, I couldn't work.
Did you want to make a good impression on coworkers?
Yes.
Now, did you see Black pull in behind you when you
Yes.
got to the Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Did you see where he parked?
He had parked on the right side of me.
Okay,
They're
so,
parked in the driveway,
okay,
like not in stalls, just pulled in.
okay. And before you went inside the Holiday Inn, did Black get out of his car?
Yes,
Did anybody else get out of his car?
Kush did too.
What seat did Kush get out of, or what door did Kush get out of the
The
black
pas-
Mercedes?
Passenger side,
Front or rear?
correct.
They got out of their car. Did you see them do anything before you went inside the Holiday Inn?
They walked towards my vehicle.
They walked towards your vehicle. Did you see anything else? Okay. Were you worried?
I was a little nervous.
When you went inside the Holiday Inn, you took your birth certificate with you. Did you take your purse with you?
No,
Did you take your phone with you?
no,
Did you take your car keys with you?
no,
Birth certificate in hand and that's it?
yes.
Okay. While you were inside the Holiday Inn, do you know what happened outside?
No,
Did you hear any kind of commotion or anything?
no.
After you came back out of the Holiday Inn, after dropping your thing, the birth certificate off, did you look at your phone? Well, did you later find out that you had missed some phone calls?
Yes,
Do you know who called you?
I'm gonna assume it was Michael Peng.
3 missed calls from Michael Vang at 2 o'clock, 2:02, and 2:04 in the morning?
Yes,
Any voicemails left?
no,
When you left the Holiday Inn, did you go back to your car?
yeah, I started to walk towards my car, yes,
Okay. Was Black's car still there?
yes.
So when you got there, what did you see?
Black was standing outside his vehicle with a gun pointing towards me.
With a gun pointing towards you. Now, there are different ways to point a gun. Did he have it pointed a little bit at you, maybe by his waist? Did he have his arm fully extended?
Arm
How
fully
did he do that?
extended.
Arm fully extended? Did he say anything to you at that time?
Just to basically listen to what he says.
When he said that to you, did his voice sound calm, angry, something else?
A little angry and a little nervous.
Did you do what he said?
Yeah,
Why?
because I didn't want no one to get hurt. I didn't want to get hurt myself.
Were you afraid?
Yes,
Was there anything strike that. Was anyone else out of the cars at that time?
no,
You did what he said, you got in your car,
yes,
you got back in the driver's seat to drive.
yes.
And now who is in your car at this time?
Peng, Trevor, and Kush.
Okay. Where was Peng sitting?
Passenger front seat,
Okay. Where was Trevor sitting?
passenger back seat,
And where was Kush sitting?
driver back seat.
Right behind you?
Yes,
How did that make you feel?
nervous.
Why?
Because I didn't know if he had a gun.
Nemo was no longer in your car.
No,
Where was Nemo?
in Black's car.
Did you have any idea what was going on?
No,
Was anybody telling you at this time what was going on?
no,
Okay. And was one of those missed calls at 2:04 from Bam, Michael Vang, while you were in the car?
yes,
Did you hear it ring?
no.
Did you have your phone on silent?
I don't think so. I think it may have been on vibrate, but I don't remember.
Okay. Were you distracted
Yes,
by everything that was going on?
yes.
When you got in the car, did Kush say anything to you?
To follow black,
Did he seem upset or angry?
angry.
Did you follow Black?
Yes,
Now, at this time, I'd like to, have you had the opportunity before today to review any surveillance video clips?
and didn't last trial.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I think by prior agreement, move for the admission of video clips. We'll go ahead and, is there any objection, counsel, to going ahead with video clips? Okay. So let's go ahead and start with Exhibit 25. We can put that up. Okay. What are we looking at here?
The Holiday Inn.
Okay, and so for the record, we have time and date up at the top of the screen on the left, 7/23/2021, Friday, 01/57/21. And we are going to be starting it from here. I believe the timestamp is going to be around 19 minutes and 54 seconds where we start. This is a pre-clipped video. Will be playing in its entirety as it appears on the exhibit. Okay, and it's ended at this time, and I believe the timestamp is at 20 minutes and 8 seconds. Were those yours and Black's vehicles?
Yes,
Yours was, whose was in front?
mine,
Whose was in back?
blacks.
Okay. And then let's keep the lights low. Thank you. And go ahead now to Exhibit 32. Okay. Ms. Schlicht, what are we looking at here?
Inside the Holiday Inn.
Is this the front desk?
Yes,
Okay, and we're going to start playing this at the timestamp of 27 minutes and 14 seconds and playing the clip in its entirety as it appears in the video. Okay, and that was you dropping off your birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay. And then lastly, we could put up Exhibit 26. This is back to the Holiday Inn outside?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and play the clip in its entirety as it appears in the exhibit, and that is going to be starting at timestamp at the bottom, that is 27 minutes and 10 seconds. And we ended it, or it ended at 27 minutes and 32 seconds. Ms. Schlicht, there were two cars that we saw go past in the top right to left portion of the screen. Which car was first?
Black's car.
And then which car was second?
Mine.
Okay, now, while you were in the car driving, did you end up overhearing a conversation that Cush had on the phone with someone else?
Yes.
Do you know who that was with?
Bam.
How could you tell?
I recognize the voice.
Could you hear what they were saying to each other?
Yes.
What, if anything, what did Cush say?
That he had them all.
Do you know who them all was?
Peng and Nemo and Trevor. And myself.
Could you make out anything else?
Just that Bam Bam said, okay, and then Kush hung up the phone.
Did they speak English to each other the whole time that you could understand, or
Yes.
any other languages?
Just English that time.
During that phone conversation, did their voices sound angry or calm or something else?
Excited.
Excited, like happy excited?
No, just like adrenaline excited.
Was Kush talking to you during this car ride at this point?
He had said that, how does it feel to have your own family sell you out to Peng?
So you were driving. Did you continue following Black?
Yes.
Did you know where you were going?
No.
Why did you keep following Black?
Because Kush said to.
Did you consider calling 911 at this time?
No.
Why not?
I don't really have an answer for that. Just that I didn't think this was going to happen.
Did you try talking to Kush during this car ride?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
I just asked if he wanted to smoke some weed.
Did he?
Yes.
Did you smoke any weed?
Very little bit, but yes.
Both of you smoked in the car?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you offer that to him?
Just to calm him down. Maybe to bring him back to reality.
Can you tell us generally what direction you all were driving?
Towards West Salem.
Did you get any phone calls from Black?
No.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at exhibit number 22. Do you recall receiving a phone call from Black at about 2:10 in the morning?
I don't remember.
You don't have any independent recollection of that. Understood. Do you recall at some point switching and no longer following Black, but Black following you?
Yes.
Can you tell me how that came about?
Kush told me to get in front of Black.
Do you remember about where you were when you switched places like that?
It was right outside of West Salem. Like going down that little corner.
Okay, and once you were in front, were you getting directions from anyone or were you making up where to go?
Kush.
Kush was giving directions?
Yes.
Did you know that area very well?
Just to the speedway.
That's a gas station in the area?
The lacrosse fairgrounds, the
Ah.
speedway.
Different kind of speedway. Thank you. Did Kush seem to know the area well?
He seemed to know where he was going. He seemed to know where he was going.
You remember at a certain point coming to an intersection with County Road M and there being some stoplights?
Yes.
Okay. When you got to that intersection, what direction did you go?
Left.
After you turned left at this intersection, where'd you go?
We followed County M out to a rock quarry.
And this was based on Kush's directions to you?
Yes.
Had you ever been to the rock quarry before?
No.
Was there any conversation going on in your car during this time?
Trevor was telling Kush that he had two beautiful girls at home.
Was he, okay, this is based on your observations. Was he talking about his two beautiful girls at home, like, let me tell you about my family because I'm really proud of them, or something else?
More like, I'm telling you about them because I don't want to get hurt.
Did Trevor seem scared when he was talking like this?
Yes.
Was Trevor crying?
Not crying, just really nervous and scared.
How did Kush respond?
That he didn't care.
Was Peng talking during this car ride?
No.
Was Nemo?
Nemo was
Oh.
in Black's car.
Nemo's in Black's car, thank you. Okay, tell me about getting to the quarry.
When we got to the quarry, I was told to pull in and leave my lights on.
Did you end up pulling in right when you got to the quarry?
No.
No, what happened?
I missed the quarry and I had to turn around at intersection right up from the quarry.
Okay, you missed it, turned around, went back, pulled in. Did you pull in front ways or did you back in?
I pulled in front ways.
You said something about keep your lights on?
Yes.
Tell me, did somebody tell you to do that?
Kush did.
Was it dark at the quarry?
Yes.
Were your lights the only lights?
Yes.
After you pulled in, kept your lights on, did Black arrive?
Yes.
How did he arrive?
He also missed the turn to the rock quarry, so then he turned around and he backed in.
Was Black's car to your right or left?
It would have been to my right.
Okay, so the passenger side.
Yes.
Okay. Once you got there, the lights are on, everybody's parked. What did you do?
We all got out of the vehicle.
Did somebody tell you to get out of the vehicle?
No.
Everybody just got out.
Yes.
Once you got out, where did you go?
To the front of my vehicle, around it to in between the vehicles.
Okay. Where did Peng go?
Peng was standing right there. He had just gotten out of the driver's seat or passenger front seat.
Okay. Where did Trevor go?
He was standing back by the back passenger door.
Peng and Trevor were between the two cars?
Yes.
Okay.
And so was Nemo.
Okay, so is Nemo. Did Kush get out?
Yes.
Where did he go?
In the middle of the vehicles as well.
Did he walk in front of your car or did he walk behind your car?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. Did you see Black get out of his car?
Yes.
Where did he go?
In the back of his trunk. He walked behind the vehicle by his trunk into the center of the vehicles.
Okay. So now that everybody's out of the vehicles, who's talking?
We all kind of are.
Are people talking quietly and calmly? Are they yelling or something else?
Not quietly and calmly. But it's not like we were yelling either.
Okay. What were people talking about?
I was just asking, what are you guys doing? What are you thinking? And then everyone, it was just happening so fast. I don't remember what words specifically were coming out of everyone's mouth.
How did you feel at this time?
Scared.
Was anybody giving orders?
Black.
What orders was Black giving?
Black told everyone to get on their knees and crawl to the front of the gate.
Did you get on your knees and crawl to the front of the gate?
No, I was told to stand in front of my vehicle or to shut up and stand in front of my vehicle or get on my knees and join them.
Is that what you did?
I stood in front of my vehicle.
Did you shut your mouth?
I did.
Why'd you do that?
Because he told me if I didn't, he was going to put me in the trunk with these guys.
Was the gun out at this time?
Yes,
Who was holding it?
Black.
Did Black do anything with the gun?
He hit Trevor in the head with it.
Did he say why he was doing that?
Because he lied.
Because Trevor lied to him?
Yes.
What was Kush doing during this time?
Standing there.
Between the cars?
Yes.
Did Kush seem upset or surprised, or could you not tell?
I could not tell.
Was he saying anything?
No.
Do you remember what kind of shoes you were wearing that day?
They were black heels.
Ms. Schlicht, I'm handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 23. What's that a photograph of, or what are those photographs of?
My shoes.
That you were wearing that night?
Yes.
I'd move Exhibit 23.
No objection.
Been received.
Ask permission to publish.
Any objection?
No objection.
Go ahead.
On the left, we have a top view of your shoe, and on the right, we have the sole of your shoe, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So now at this point, Nemo, Peng, and Trevor were on their knees by the gate.
Yes.
Were they talking?
No.
Did you see anybody get hit?
Kush kicked Nemo in the chest.
And just to be clear, you said that was Kush? Did he say anything when he did that?
No,
Were the three, Nemo, Peng, and Trevor, given any other instructions at that time?
put your hands on your head.
Were they told to do anything with their pockets?
Empty them.
Did they do that?
Yes.
Who was giving these orders?
Black.
What was Black's demeanor during this time?
He was just angry and, yelling at them loud.
What was Kush doing?
Just standing there.
Was Black giving orders to Kush?
Yes.
What order did Black give to Kush?
That he better do this before he does.
So tell me about that. You better do this before I do it.
Yes.
What was going on when he said that?
He was handing Kush the gun.
Did Kush take the gun?
Yes.
Did Black hit Kush at all?
No.
Did he act violent towards him at all?
No.
Kush took the gun, then what happened?
Black got in the vehicle, and Kush walked back and forth a little bit, and then said "fuck it" and shot all three of them.
When he said that, what was the tone of his voice?
That he didn't care.
That he shot all of them?
Yes.
You know how many times?
3 each.
Could you see who was shot first?
No.
Why not?
It all happened very fast, and the lights had gone out shortly, like right after he started pulling the trigger.
Could you see who was shot last?
No.
Did you remember, were you able to see anybody get shot?
Yes.
You don't know if they were first or last, but you did see someone actually get shot.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I saw Trevor get shot in the temple.
When he was shot in the temple, was he looking at you?
Yes.
Do you still see that image in your head to this day?
Yes.
Ms. Schlicht, is there any doubt in your mind who pulled that trigger when you saw Trevor get shot in the temple?
No.
Who was that?
Kush.
Ms. Schlicht, do you see that man, Kush, who fired that shot here in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Schlicht, can you let us know where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He's at the defendant table and wearing blue.
I'd ask that the record reflect in-court identification of the defendant.
Any objection?
I think that
Okay.
the pointed at
Okay. Record reflect identification. That's who she pointed to. Go ahead.
After the three were shot, where did Kush go?
Got into the passenger seat of Black's vehicle.
And then what happened?
They drove away.
Did you ever see either of them again?
No.
Ms. Schlicht, what did you do?
I stood there for a second and then I left.
Tell me about leaving. Where'd you go?
I pulled out and I didn't really know my way around there and I just started driving.
Could you
I guess
see,
it was to the right. I left to the right of the quarry.
Were there a million things going through your mind at that time?
Yes,
Could you see the taillights of Black's Mercedes in front of you?
yes,
Did seeing those taillights make you drive a certain way or do something?
I slowed right down
You slowed right down? Why is that?
because I didn't want them to see my headlights. I just wanted them to get away from me.
Okay. So you waited until you couldn't see the lights?
Yes,
And then what did you do?
I put my GPS on to the Holiday Inn
Why the Holiday Inn?
because I knew there was cameras outside.
Why were those cameras important to you?
Because I figured if they were gonna come find me, that it was on camera.
On that drive back, did you think to call police right away?
No.
Why not?
Because I was in denial that it had happened. And I was very scared.
On that drive back, do you remember receiving any phone calls?
Yes,
Did Bam call you?
yes.
Can you tell us about that phone call?
He was curious when I was coming back to the hotel.
And how did you respond?
Do you not know what just happened?
What did he say about that?
Nothing.
He didn't say anything. After a little bit, you got back to the Holiday Inn
Yes,
and you parked by where you knew those cameras were, like you just testified to?
yes.
Outside of that phone call with Bam, did Black call you?
Yes,
Did you answer?
no,
Why not?
I was scared.
Did you call him back at some point?
Yes,
And let the record reflect the witness looked at Exhibit 22 in answering that question. Why'd you look at the exhibit about that?
because I don't remember calling him.
Okay. Was that about a 2-second phone call?
Yes,
Do you remember talking to Black?
no,
Okay. Then, did you end up on that drive having a phone call with Cush?
yes.
Did you call him or did he call you?
I'm going to look. It says that I called him.
Do you have independent knowledge or a recollection that you called him?
No,
You just know that you talked to
I
him?
just know I talked to him.
Now, that was a fairly lengthy phone call, right?
Yes.
About 9 minutes? What did the two of you talk about?
He wanted me to come meet him at the Hotel 6 to collaborate a story.
How did you respond?
Do you know what you just did in front of me? How could you can't guarantee me that that I'm gonna be alive at the end of that.
You told him you were scared?
Yeah,
How did Cush respond?
I don't remember word for word. All I really remember from that conversation is that, Bridget, you're a good friend, and then he hung up on me.
Fair to say, well, during that phone call, did the two of you talk about anything other than what had just happened?
No,
And as far as you recall, what were his last words to you?
Bridget, you're a good friend.
When he said that, did he seem calm, angry, something else?
Calm.
Did you ever speak with him again?
No,
Do you recall getting any text messages from Black?
yes.
What was that?
He texted me not to tell anyone.
Have you spoken with Black since that time?
No,
Not in the 3 years since?
nope,
Did you end up meeting up with them?
no,
Did you go to the Hotel 6?
no,
Did you collaborate a story with them?
no,
Did you collaborate a story with Black?
No,
You collaborate a story with Kush?
no,
Do you have any idea where they went? Do
no,
you have any idea what they did?
no.
Did you end up deleting that message from Black?
Yes.
Why'd you do that?
Because I just wanted everything off my phone.
Why did you want everything off your phone?
Because I didn't want to be a part of it.
So then, after all of this, did you go to the Holiday Inn?
Yeah, I was there by the time our phone call had ended.
Okay, thank you. What'd you do when you got to the Holiday Inn?
I locked my vehicle, I rolled my windows up, locked my car, and sat back.
Why'd you do that?
Because I was hiding.
Because you were what?
Hiding.
Hiding, thank you. Did you end up falling asleep?
Yes.
How many days had you been up at this point?
3.
And you'd been using a lot or a little meth?
I wouldn't say it was any more than I did throughout the day, which I guess to me it's not a lot, but to someone else might be a lot.
Okay. Did seeing what you'd seen at the quarry have any kind of physical impact on you?
That I was exhausted from what just happened.
Did you mean to fall asleep?
No.
Are you upset with yourself that you did that?
Yes.
Why?
Because I put myself out there to be hurt. If they did come to the Holiday Inn, I wasn't aware.
Before you fell asleep, did you call Trevor Maloney's phone?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because I was hoping he was going to answer.
Did he answer?
No.
Do you know how long you slept?
Probably about 4 hours.
And then after you woke up, what did you do?
I drove over to the Baymont.
Why'd you go to the Baymont?
Because that's where all of our stuff was, my stuff was.
Okay. Now, if we could have, please, Exhibit 28. Is this the Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to go ahead and play a brief clip, starting at timestamp on the bottom timer at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And we've stopped it at timestamp 6 minutes and 5 seconds. We played the clip in its entirety as it appears in the exhibit. Ms. Schlicht, is that you pulling into the Holiday Inn at about 2:53 in the morning?
Yes.
And then if we could have Exhibit 30, please. And we're going to start at timestamp 13 minutes. Play the clip in its entirety as it appears in the exhibit. Ms. Schlicht, was that you leaving the Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Ms. Schlicht, I just want to be clear about something. Did you do any meth in your car during that time?
No.
You mentioned previously that you deleted the text message from Black about don't tell anyone. Did you delete anything else from your phone?
I deleted every message from any of them guys.
Any message from any one of them guys, that would include Black? Also Kush?
Yes.
Also Nemo Yang?
Yes.
Also Peng, and also Trevor Maloney?
Yes.
Did it hurt too much to look at those messages?
Yes.
So next, you told us that you went to the Baymont to collect your things.
Yes.
And after you went to the Baymont to collect your things, where did you go?
I had just started driving down the road. I really didn't have a plan on where I was going. I was very much still in shock. And then when I got to Green Bay Street, I decided to go to a close friend of mine at the time's house,
Who was that?
Tim Marks.
What did you do at his house?
I just sat there and waited for him to get back.
Did you tell him about what happened?
Yes.
Did you give him anything?
No. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry.
What did you give him?
I gave him the 2 balls that I had got from Nemo
Why did you give them to Tim instead of Bam?
because I never seen Bam after that.
How long were you at that house?
A couple hours.
How did you know Tim?
He was a friend that I had met while I was bartending.
Did you know him to ever smoke meth?
Yes.
After you were at his house for a couple of hours, where did you end up going?
To the police station
Why did you do that?
because I knew that this was not going to go away.
Did you feel any conflict inside about going to the police about this?
No.
Was that a difficult decision for you to make?
No.
How did it feel to go there?
Very scary.
Why scary?
Because now it was just very scary to go there to have to tell them what I had just seen.
Scary also to tell them about what you had done?
Yes.
Did you feel any sense of responsibility?
No.
So you went to the police station, the sheriff's office, something else?
Police station.
Okay. Did you end up speaking with police that day
Yes.
for a short amount of time or for a long time?
A very long time.
How long?
11 hours.
Did you find it difficult to trust them?
In the beginning, yes.
Why?
Because most interactions with police officers and myself never go that well.
Did you come to trust them?
Yes.
What, if anything, made you kind of change that feeling?
One of them had told me that that not all cops are bad.
Did the police promise you anything that day?
No.
Did you let the police search your phone?
Yes.
Did you hand it over to them willingly?
Yes.
Did you let them search your car?
Yes.
Did you hand them your keys?
Yes.
Did you hand them any of your other belongings?
Just my phone, everything was in the car.
How did it feel to willingly tell police about your drug use that day?
Scary.
How did it feel to tell police about seeing what happened at the quarry?
scary and disturbing.
Did you spill everything that happened right away to them in the first few minutes of the 11 hours you were there?
No,
Why not?
because I was nervous and I didn't really think it was necessary information that they needed to know.
What didn't you think was necessary information that they didn't need to know?
That I had slept with them.
I want to ask you a couple of questions about how you looked when you spoke with police. Did you have a black eye at that time?
Yes,
Did you try to cover it with makeup,
yes,
but had it worn off?
yes,
Did they ask you about that?
yes.
What did you tell them had happened?
I had told them that I had a construction accident.
Like, what's a construction accident?
Like I was remodeling my house at the time.
Okay. Was that true?
No,
Why did you tell them a lie about that black eye?
because I didn't want to snitch on the person that had gave me the black eye.
What had actually caused the black eye?
A male individual had hit me at Quick Trip.
And you didn't want to snitch about that,
Yes,
but you were willing to tell police about seeing what you saw at the quarry.
yes.
Ms. Schlicht, what's the difference to you between those two things?
3 people lost their lives. I didn't lose my life when I got hit by this guy.
Did the police provide you any security that day?
Yes,
What did they provide to you?
a safe house.
Did you feel like you needed security?
Yes,
Who did you feel like you needed security from?
Cushion Black.
Were you afraid of them?
Yes,
Are you still afraid of them?
yes.
Ms. Schlicht, as you sit here in court, do you even want to be here right now?
No,
Ms. Schlicht, how does it feel to be sitting in that chair talking about watching those 3 boys get shot?
very sad and nerve-wracking and disturbing.
Bridget, I want to be as clear as possible about this. When you were at the quarry on July 23rd, 2021 at about 2:30 in the morning, who did you see shoot Nemo Yang, Peng, Trevor Maloney?
Nya Thao, Kush.
Thank you. Judge, I have nothing further at this time.
So what we'll do is we're going to take a short break anyways, probably a good time. We'll come back about 22 or how much time you need, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back. Please don't talk about the case. We'll see you in a bit.